when I was younger. My mom wasn't super religious or never really imposed that on me much, but she did take me to church sometimes. And I didn't understand what was going on. It felt like I understood like we were in church and it was like for God and things, but I didn't get any of what was happening. So I'm 19 years old. I live in Highbridge, which is in the Bronx. I never really fully subscribed to it, but the ideas that was planted into my head was like real, so I always thought like God was watching me or something like that. So I used to really like think like, well, like some being out there is literally watching me. And in some ways I was right, but it's not the way that I thought.
So whoever wants to have a relationship with Jesus Christ and to live with God can bow his head and repeat after me. Everybody say, Dear God,
Dear God,
thank you.
thank you
And you're saying Jesus Christ for me, to save me and my family. Please help me to understand what Christmas is about. Let me never forget how important I am for you. I love you, God. In your name I pray. And everybody say, Amen. And oh my God, say, Amen. Say, Amen. Good job, everybody. Good job.
They basically like go around in the city in these like colorful trucks, and they open up a stage out the truck and they like just teach the word of God and everything to most of the times like low-income neighborhoods. They give out like toys and shit and candy. Like I used to go there literally because they had free candy at the end and shit. So I would sit through it, and it was, yeah, that's what I remember Yogi Bear as. Like it was just a place like you go and listen to them talk about like stories about like Jesus Christ and stuff, and like
maybe when you start to do things good, when you start to live a life that is good, boys, I need to pop a balloon on your side. You need to look up here, all right? Stop being distracted. Listen to the message, okay? Look up here. Shh. All right, so maybe when some of you guys, when you go to school, when you go to Yogi Bear, there's people who laugh at you. They make fun of you. When you decide that you're not going to get in trouble, when you decide that you're not going to go out with your friends and get in trouble and break in and start graffitiing and vandalizing things, people, you may find that your friends, they don't want to be your friends anymore. And this is because you are living for God. It's not going to be easy for you. Living for God is not easy. It wasn't easy for Stephen, and it's not going to be easy for you. But don't give up living for God.
Overall, it's like, it's confusing when it's like this love thing, but then the second somebody does something like out of your ordinary, it's like this, all of that doesn't count anymore. So
Yogi Bear trucks are weird.
How so?
It's just, I always thought that street preaching in general was weird. It's just, growing up around my block, there used to be a Hispanic dude who used to just stand on the corner and preach in Spanish, which was weird because it was a Jamaican neighborhood, so nobody knew what he was saying. But he would just stand there every Saturday and he just preached for like 5 hours. And it was okay because we all knew him, like we knew he was from around there. Like he had a job, just on Saturdays he would go outside, stand in the corner with his Bible and preach. And it's different than when you have people who like aren't from your community and they kind of come in and they tell you like, this is what you're supposed to do. And it's like, it's weird the way they talk to the kids. I don't know, I'm just not cool with the Yogi Bear trucks. It feels condescending. It's like you don't need more missionaries in like the Bronx and Uptown. Like there are a million churches. There's a church in like every 3 blocks. Like what more are you doing? Unless you're saying that like your brand of preaching is better, or like you know better what's for the community. It doesn't make sense why you're actually there.
I think Jesus, he gives hope. I think this is where, I mean, the main part about Jesus is really what happens after life, right? And Jesus never promises that once you start believing in him, your life will be perfect. No, he never promises that. But of course, the main thing is that if you believe in Jesus, what we preach today is that you will be saved if you believe in him. So that's our main point of getting across to the families. But then of course, he gives hope. You know, he's somebody who gives you hope. I do believe in prayer. I believe if you pray, God will answer those prayers. Sometimes not in the way you think, but he will answer them. And it's just that anchor. It gives the stability where you can rely on. You know that God is faithful. And that's a lot of times what people need. They need something that is stable, where they can hold on to when life goes crazy. And I think that's what Jesus really provides. Of course, salvation for afterlife. And then just something that they can rely on, something that gives them hope in times when there's no hope for them.
Just like some foreign dude coming and saying, I am the moral authority now. This is what's good. This is what will save you. You know, like,
what's had to happen in Christian missionary activity, at least in the Catholic Church, is we understand that missionary activity is a two-way street. Authentic missionary activity means, yes, I have something to contribute, but I also have something to learn. It's a mutual relationship. And that's the kind of attitude that needs to be present when we're interacting with communities such as in our neighborhood. That it's not just me bringing something to them, making them like me. I need to also learn, so my identity is also enriched and stretched and challenged by the people that I'm in relationship with. Am I going to be in real relationship with them, or am I there simply to save them? I think that's the operative question.
Right.
So my vocational challenge is to think through and to struggle with the contradictions and the paradoxes of Catholic faith, and then to prophetically challenge that faith community's propensity to sinful attitudes and practices of exclusion. And so I see my broader project as a call to create a new thing, to create a Catholic ethics that's free from the scars, the scotomas and blind spots of white supremacy, of patriarchy and heterosexism.
I feel like personally, like at least the pastor who was at the church kind of knows the people for a long time. They understand like the individual people. And I feel like with Yogi Bear, they kind of just come in not knowing anything about really the community as far as like they do talk to people, of course, and you can learn through talking to people, but like I feel like there's automatically that assumption that more people in some way needed there, or more people are going to go to those things there? Because I never see a Yogi Bear truck in the Upper East Side, never, and there's kids there too.
At that point, I was put in an English ward, and that one, I mean, definitely at times I felt like this is a scary area, but I never felt unsafe as a missionary. Like, even though I would, like, walk into a building that, just upon various reasons, just feeling like I would never live here kind of a thing. But I just never, and even if I saw people that looked like they were up to something, like up to no good, just as a mission, I don't know why, I just felt like I would never go back to those areas now, and not as a missionary. I'm sure it was just like extra protection, and we needed to see those people or something. But there were a few times when people on the street that you could tell like had seen their time of, I don't know how to say it, criminal activity, I don't know, that would stop us and say like, oh hey, like I love you guys, like you guys are spreading the word of God, like I think that's great. Has anyone been bothering you? Like, if anyone bothers you, you just let me know, and we'll make sure they stop bothering you. We're like, okay, no, like, we're okay. Like, and then someone even expressed to us one time that, you know, like, no one would ever think of, like, bothering you guys, because, like, we would rather, like, cause problems with the cops than we would with a church person, because then you're messing with God, and we just don't want to do with that, so. And so it's just a very interesting, like, aspect that even though they, I don't know, that even though they didn't necessarily have like strong faith in God and weren't showing it very well, but they definitely recognized that we were doing a positive thing in their area and trying to help people to believe in God.
So it's like that. I feel like it's always an assumption. The whole thing is like kind of assuming that these places are not only do they need it more, right, but they're more likely to go to it. You know, like there's more people that believe in that in those places, you know. Obviously, not everything that is said to be like for my good, just because it's like a law and it's written in the book somewhere, it doesn't mean it's for my good. It doesn't mean it's for good. Like I see a lot of people, I don't know how to say this without being too like rap and metaphorical about it, but it's like I see people doing Satan's work with the word of God.
Then they come in our community and they want to know why the hell we so upset. You want to know why we so angry? We ain't got shit, and the little shit that we got, they're trying to take.
A lot of times people just like feel like they're like helping, and they all have like good intentions, you know, and nice people. But it's once again, it's the teaching of intolerance. No matter how you look at it, no matter how much love you put into it, it's still teaching hate in some type of way.
Well, I wrote this song for the Christian youth. I want to teach kids the Christian truth. If you want to reach those kids on the street, then you gotta do a rap to a hip-hop beat. So I gave my sermon an urban kick. My rhymes are fly, my beats are sick. My crew is big and it keeps getting bigger. That's 'cause Jesus Christ is my nigga. Woo!
Yeah.
Jesus Christ is my nigga. He's the son of the original G. And he was sent to earth to elucidate the way that we should be. What? Like if another MC says you're a freak, you're a lame butt rapper and your rhymes are weak. I don't get mad and I don't critique. I forgive him and turn the other cheek. I don't blaspheme and I I don't brag, I don't cuss, and my pants don't sag. I do exude a little Christian swag, and I'm proud to be an American.
It could be easily used like to like enforce a law that's like, you know, like a how do I say this? It's like a country's law, like a political law. Like it's like breaking the law, or like breaking the law is sinful because it's like you're rebelling. Like I just think it's the whole like idea of like this is the best, not like this is it, nothing else is it, and everything else that's like either question it or like trying to like challenge it in some type of way, or trying to even build with it in some type of way, you know, like it's not the way, it's this, we already figured it out.
There's always going to be a kind of discomfort or a kind of what I call creative friction, because in an authentic relationship, I'm going to become different, or my identity is going to be changed and stretched through my encounter with the other. Mm-hmm. I mean, in an authentic relationship, even in terms of a marriage or dating relationship, that, you know, I'm going to become a different person by being in an authentic relationship. But if I'm going to enter the relationship and I'm going to see myself as primarily helping the other person, then my identity never has to be changed. My identity never has to stretch or grow, because I already have everything I need. I'm just bringing it to someone who needs, but I don't have.
As I've just learned more about the world and watched more things, I kind of realized that the church wasn't necessarily like a good nor a bad thing. Things aren't that clear cut. Like everything is used for good and bad. So I realized that like part of me I didn't fuck with I didn't like the intolerance and just almost the hatred that was like pushed, and certain like things were used to like defend hate or defend intolerance. And it also can be used to like place a lot of fear in people, but I also see that like it's very empowering, and it's in a way people go there and they feel like that is their family, you know, like that is their community there.
I do not define myself primarily as an academic. I see myself as speaking out of the academy and taking advantages of the resources and the freedom that it gives me, but not necessarily always to the academy, and certainly not always for its enrichment. I see myself as a scholar activist who works with faith-based groups.
I used to have this job where like basically they used to give us a Metro card, and they used to tell us not to swipe people. Just don't do it. That was the thing. Just don't do it. You'll be okay. Don't do it. They literally said you could get fired for that. Don't do it. And I just remember like I still don't have a Metro card right now in my pocket. You know, like I still don't have a swipe, and so I have like a thing where I swipe. Anytime I do have a Metro card, I swipe people on, because I understand like people need to get on, and MCA police are like crazy about giving people like $200 tickets when they can't get a Metro card. You know, like it doesn't make sense. So I used to break that rule because I thought morally, like I didn't care about the rule, or like because somebody said it was for the better, like I thought it was for the better that I did swipe somebody on.
Speak truth to the people. To identify the enemy is to free the mind. Free the mind of the people. Speak to the mind of the people. Speak